Hey everyone, this is Tracy and Brenda, and we are here
Hey, Brenda.
starting our new podcast. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you get a lot out of it because we have a lot to share. So sit back, enjoy the show, and please comment, like, and share. Thanks. So now let's get into it, Brenda.
You're
Ready?
really good at this, Tracy. Wow.
I just watch a lot of podcasts.
You're very good at that. Okay. I couldn't have done that, even if you gave me the script.
Okay.
So
So,
can I just say ditto what she said?
yeah, absolutely.
Ditto.
That's how we roll. We give
That's
each
right.
other a lot of grace, and there's a big learning curve with this whole thing because I am not an expert at all this tech and all this, but I try to learn and I try to do it. But we're going to just wing it. Here we go. So let's talk about the incident and why we are starting this podcast.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, I can tell you that I am a survivor of a brain aneurysm rupture. It happened in 2004. I had just moved back to live with family in Long Island. My niece, who was 14 at the time, Emily, she and I went with my aunt because she had tickets to see Beast on Broadway. So I we got to the train, we went and saw the play, everything was fantastic. It was a great show. And then we were heading back to Penn Station, and I got this unbelievable headache. But this happened 21 years ago, almost. And no one, no one would have thought a brain aneurysm rupture. I didn't even know what that was. And I only heard about it when a celebrity died from one. So I wasn't thinking aneurysm. We made it home at like 1, but the whole ride home, I had this horrific headache. And it wasn't the thunderclap headache. Mine was more like a brain freeze. And I couldn't shake it. And I kept having to go to the station. I couldn't stop walking / speed walking with my niece on the street. So anyway, long story short, I went the whole night. I woke up the next day, and I slept most of the day, and none of my family thought anything. We all thought I had a migraine. And by 10 o'clock that night, while watching TV with the headache, but I was trying to participate with family, um, I had a seizure. I had a stroke. I went unconscious. And at that point that's when I went to the hospital. My brother and my sister were with me. I was 32 years old. And we were having dinner. So my brother was over with his kids, but it was just us adults at the time. And they took action, thank God. And they called the ambulance, and I went to the hospital. But we'll get into more details later on. That's like the short version. But these are the things we want to share with you. And we know everybody's story is different. And everyone has different experiences, different emotions, different people who are dealing with them and experiencing it with them. So that's why we wanted to share our stories. So, Bren, you ready to share yours?
Well, I guess I have to. So, in listening to your story, Tracy, I think something that you said that really resonates with me is that when you hear these like stereotypical versions of what it's going to be like, what to look for,
Mhm.
and I was older than you. I was 48, but I was fit. I had always been a headachy person. At the end of 2019, I had like a 3-week migraine.
Ugh.
And I was very light sensitive. I was wearing sunglasses the whole time. I am I'm really not quick to go to any doctor for anything. So when I agreed to my husband, yes, I think I maybe need to go to the ER. I think he was like, "Oh shit, this is real."
This is serious.
Yeah. So So I went to the ER the first time, and when they said to me, and I didn't fit any profile of like, oh, this is a stroke. They just thought
Right.
it was a bad migraine.
Yep.
And when they said to me, and I'll never forget this, well, we could do a spinal tap to see if there's any blood.
Oh God,
But
no.
that could make the migraine worse. Who in the right mind, when they're dealing with a headache, says, "Okay, sign me up for that. Make it
No,
worse."
thank you.
So they gave me a prescription to which they also said, "Be careful because this is highly addictive." So I didn't take the
Oh
medicine,
my,
so I
yeah, why
could
don't you get
continue to suffer, and then went home, and it was maybe, I honestly don't remember how many, it was a few days later, I continued to suffer. I went back to the ER again, and this time they did a CT scan, and I just my spidey senses were going off
Mhm.
because they said, we're gonna do this again." I was like, "Oh, I think they see something."
Oh God.
But they pulled me out, and they whatever they said it was, I can't even think of the name of it now,
Mhm.
but they said, "Follow up with your doctor after the holidays." So they didn't cause any great alarm.
Oh my
So
gosh.
so it was between Christmas and New Year's or something. I don't even know. It may have been after New Year's because my stroke was on January 8th. So, anyways, so I
Uh-huh.
went to see a doctor and was told, "Okay, you're gonna go back for another CT." Like, again, nobody was like freaking out because I didn't meet any of these criteria to be worried.
Yeah.
And
Like you
so
weren't a smoker, you didn't have high blood pressure, you
exactly.
weren't like
I was very healthy. And so then it was January 8th, 2020. This was before the pandemic blew up. It was
okay.
literally weeks before it.
Oh my
So,
God.
and I remember I was on the phone with my friend who's actually also from Long Island, but she was in New York City.
Woohoo!
Yeah, she doesn't live there anymore. She's from there. 15, 3:30, my youngest son, who was in grade 7 at the time, candidate grade 7, so,
Oh,
so
young.
I never showed up to pick him up, so he called my husband and said, "Where's mom?" And that was so not like me. Jay, my husband, called my other son who was in the house and said, "Go find your mom. This is not like her." So he found me. I
Ugh,
had fallen off the couch and
oh my
everywhere.
God. So
But
scary.
and this is more for the loved ones of the caregivers. Like, he was not even with that, he wasn't alarmed because I'm pretty good at passing out. So he
Yeah.
just thought it was pulling a Brenda. But
You're
but
klutzy.
but he spoke to me, and apparently I don't remember this, but apparently I responded to him. So
Right.
I think that's important for people to understand. Like, even what you're observing might not necessarily match the severity of things. So, anyways, he
Yeah.
found me, and then he spoke to my husband, who was already on his way home. And when my husband came in and saw me, he called 911 right away.
Oh, Lord.
And they
Now
they, tried to put a drain in, and they caused a second bleed, so I had 2
oh,
bleeds.
oh my god.
So I think that's the point where I went into a coma, and because of the timing of it, no one was in town. Jay was totally on his own.
Oh god.
So, like, as much as the focus I know that we'll talk about is about the survivors, Tracy, you and I both know that the impact goes
Oh,
way beyond us.
it affected everybody in my family.
And sometimes I feel worse about that because
Yep.
I know what I can handle.
Yeah.
I know I've got this, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to be a worry or a concern for other people.
Right.
And so the fact that he had to go through that. So then they transferred me to the neuro hospital. I had a hemorrhagic stroke. So it wasn't like you, Tracy. It wasn't an aneurysm, but it was
Huh?
a cavernous malformation, which
Okay. Cavernous
typically
malformation. Hmm.
typically just drips. But one of the connections, and we'll talk about all the connections that have come
Yeah.
up, is that um, I have my neurosurgeon here, but I also am, because of the camp that I worked at, connected to a neurosurgeon who's in New York City who you're not connected with.
I'm
And
going to see
so,
Dr.
so
Langer.
Jay sent him my images, and it was almost as if, even though it doesn't typically happen this way, that like it exploded on itself. And like it doesn't typically rupture, typically
Uh,
just drips. But anyways, but I think in both of our cases, because there are so many unique elements, but for people who are new to the whole um stroke
experience.
vernacular experience, yes. Yeah. I think it's something like 80% of strokes are ischemic,
Yeah.
and a much smaller the remaining are and within the hem, so it's already less likely, both of
Yeah.
ours.
That will survive.
And within that, less percent of even having it is
Hmm.
minuscule of even surviving. So frankly, the fact that we're here talking to each other and to you is a freaking
It
miracle.
it is a freaking miracle,
Yeah,
and that thus the name "Beating the Odds."
that's right, that's right.
I added the lighter side because we always look at the brighter side of things. I try not to get down on myself, but it happens sometimes. Um, yeah,
But, like,
we
you know what? Can I add to what you just said, Trey? That I do think that because I know myself, 99.9% of the time, I am upbeat and positive.
Mhm,
But I think, in addition to giving each other and anyone watching the space and the grace to be human, to have those
absolutely,
moments, to, that we need to each work on giving it to ourselves. Because I think
absolutely.
that's what I struggle most with. Is even myself, I can be positive 99% of the time. If every now and then I have a day that I'm like, oh, this is really shitty.
Yeah, this is a
That's
shitty
okay.
situation going. But let me just tell you what Brenda was like. Now, Brenda and I went to college together. We went to SUNY Geneseo in New York, and
Which
I
is
will
impressive
preface
because we're
this.
only 35 years old.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and now Brenda lives in Canada. So this is actually an international venture. She's in Canada now, happily married with 3 kids who are older now, who are college age and just out of college, right? You have 3 kids that are just
Yes,
about,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I have no children. I'm not married. So we have very different life circumstances and situations, but we are connected through stroke. And I found out about Brenda's stroke just through Facebook because after college in 1993 or 94, something like that, um, life happens and we went on our way and we lost touch. But Brenda was always the most upbeat, positive, energetic person with the best smile. And
Well,
every time I saw her, she just lit up my day.
that's so nice of you.
And I don't know if you remember this, but I was going through a bad time with college and they kind of kicked me out because the bill wasn't paid.
Oh, really?
And
I did not know that.
you didn't know that because you wrote me a little note and I saved it for so many years and you drew this cute clown. Like you're a really good artist. You drew this just with marker, this cute clown, and you gave me the most beautiful sentiment under it. Just basically, keep your chin up. You're going to get through this. Brenda, is so inspirational and just overall a very positive person. And it spreads to everyone that she encounters. So she still is. I will now say that, but she's going through a lot of challenges. I'm going through a lot of challenges. I'm definitely not the same person. But when we reconnected on Facebook, because I saw her tagged by one of her friends who had done a 5K race with her to benefit, what was it benefiting again?
I do 10Ks. 10K. I've done it 6 years so far. It's the Terry Fox Foundation. It benefits cancer research.
Terry Fox, that was his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
So she's very active still. And I'm like, "Wait a minute, Brenda?" And then it said, that she's doing this and she had to use her walker, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Like, I didn't know. We were not in touch for years. So this was like, what, in a year?
Yeah.
So I reached out through Messenger. I think that's how we reconnected. And I just said, "Hey, Bren, it's Tracy. Remember
Mm.
me?" And I said, "I don't know what you're up to now, but I'd love to catch up." And that's how we reconnected. And then we learned from each other that she had gone through this horrific stroke and that I had gone through the brain aneurysm rupture and a subsequent stroke, also hemorrhagic. Any bleeding in the brain, they basically call it a hemorrhagic stroke. So that's how we got back together. And we just connected so quickly and so easily, like no time had passed. And I think that's what I love about our friendship and the fact that we share so many similar experiences and feelings and things like that. Although our lives are very different, but we come together through stroke. So that's when we started talking about doing this podcast. So it's been a year and a half, and Brenda and I have made a point to put it in our calendars because we are both have
Oh,
problems
okay.
with
Mhm.
memory and scheduling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we decided that every 2 weeks we would meet through Facebook Messenger video chat and we would just talk and catch up and share what we're going through and our little wins and our horrible losses and everything in between. Yes, we're back. We had some technical issues, but to
Aside
finish up,
from the stroke,
yeah, yeah, that's, you know,
that
other
was the,
issues
the
come up.
biggest technical issue.
Lots of things come up after stroke, but together, even though Brenda's in Canada and I am on Long Island, we have so much in common because of stroke. So we hope that this podcast really enlightens people, helps to support people who are going through it or have been through it. And we're going to just do this weekly and we'll have some strategies that we learned when we got home from the hospital. And we'll talk about everything, the ups, the downs, the all arounds. And, well, we're going to have tips of the day. We're going to have a question of the day, and you will be able to join and comment. So this is episode number 1, and we're going to go for it.
That's right.
Thanks for,
That's right.
thanks for watching. And if you can, like and share, follow us too. And we're also on YouTube, Instagram. Where else? Oh, I just signed us up for Twitter.
Okay.
And we're going to be on Facebook eventually. So join us weekly. And thank you so much. Bren, this was so great. I'm so happy we finally got it started.
Thanks, Tracy. We look
All
forward to
right.
having this adventure with you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.